Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hi everyone, isn't this fun? All right, so today that's what I'm going to do, but I got this idea from this leaf I sewed in years and years and years ago. This was on a book that we glued the pages together. I believe Faith Hill was the instructor and we did a whole little book for ourselves. So excited by this one today. It just gives me so much pleasure seeing all the leaves on the page. So I had this mat piece and I've decided that I would rip down the inside. So on the other side, it's going to have a pull down flap, but you'll see that tomorrow. And I had all these dried leaves. So I decided that I would sew them in. Now, because I wanted a bit of a composition rather than building it as I was sewing it. Sorry, you got Jay Bear in the background there. If you've been with me for any length of time, you'll know this house is never quiet. But yeah, I decided that I would roughly glue the leaves down and then sew them. I just used art glitter glue, but I'm not actually gluing them to the page. I'm just gluing them to position them. So then I put a bit of plastic on top and that beautiful brick that I've covered in paper. I just used that to weight it down, just to help them, stay in place for a little bit while I found my cotton and threaded my needle and did all of that. So literally then, this is just sewing the leaf to the paper. I'm going to do something with the back of that page later because it does get very messy. But this is just one of those things that just makes me happy. I love sewing anything from nature into my books, and these worked beautifully. Now, I believe I'm sewing bay leaves. So, of course, as I'm sewing through, you can smell the gorgeous bay leaf smell. Well, I really love that smell. And then the other ones were from, maybe Nandina, those plants that are red sometimes. So I'm kind of hoping that colour will, not fade as quickly as autumn leaves can. But, we'll see. And for this one, I decided that I'd play with, some patterns with the string. I'm really not thinking about how I'm doing it, where it's going. I am just doing enough to secure the leaf to the paper. Now, remember when I first... Just laughing at my boys' commentary in the background. I remember when I first did it, you really only need a few stitches to actually hold the leaf on the page. So you do not need a lot at all. And that's good because most leaves and things from nature can be quite delicate. These held the stitches beautifully. So I just kept going to town and really enjoying myself, as you can see. So I'll just let you watch along. Now, I have used lots of lengths of thread in this, and I just tie them off in a knot in the back once, it gets too short, and then do another one. Because if I was to use one piece of thread, I can't really work with very long pieces. However, I did double over the cotton, so it's a double length. Now, that can make it knot more easily, but that's another reason why I don't use really, really long pieces as I'm sewing these together. But isn't it wonderful just watching them all happily sit in there being sewn in? It just, I don't know, every time I'm opening this page today, it's just making me smile. So nature does that to me. Some people aren't like that. Some people need, the hustle and bustle and the feeling of the city and so forth to relax. What is it? There's a saying. It can be your glimmer. So there are things that you do in your day that just make you happy and make you feel better. They're almost like a mini meditation, and they call them glimmers. So things that feel good that we have to stuff into our days. And that might be looking at the trees outside, or it might be listening to music. Whatever it is, you'll have your own glimmers, I love that expression. So that's one of the things I'll be focusing on this year is my glimmers, because life is too busy. So we need those shorter moments, don't we, to be able to find some peace or a bit of happiness or just a bit of relief. So then I changed the colour of the thread. So my first one was actually blue, like a denim blue. And then I changed it to this gorgeous creamy colour. And I love how the two contrast. So the blue almost just gives a bit of background texture, and then this creaminess just adds even more texture, but I like how it shows up a bit more. It's fun. It's fun. So once I got to this bit, I then added a few little features that you'll see. And I started to think about the thread as mark making. So you know how when we're painting or drawing, you'll often hear people talk about mark making. So with the white thread, I started to think about mark making. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. You know, all of you embroiderers out there, I mean, you do beautiful mark making, but this is just my haphazard making it up as I go along. So yeah, sometimes I do little lines on a page. So that's what I'm doing here is little lines, and I'll do little flowers and swirls. So that's what I'm also doing with the thread. So I had to do 3 of those, of course. And the last one just got more complicated. So story of my life. But I really like how it worked. It was sort of the most complex, I guess, is the right word. Again, I'm really sorry that the background is so noisy today. It just seems impossible to find a spot, and so I'm just having to go with it. Otherwise, I'll never get the video out in time for you. So, yeah, if it's bugging you, you don't need to listen to my voice. Turn the sound down. It might be necessary for this one. At least he's happy, right? But it's so funny how he wanders around chatting to himself. But anyway, as I said, this one today just gave me so much happiness. I was so excited to share it with you. I was just going to do it the same way that, you know, I showed you as the first one, but I just got carried away. And I love that when we get lost in our art. All right, so that's everything sewn in and all the stitching I'm wanting to do. So then I just used some normal acrylic paint and I added some matte medium because I remember reading on the bottle that it makes your acrylic paints more matte and I didn't want them all shiny. So I thought, I'll give that a go. I believe it also can make your colours more translucent because that's certainly what it did here. So this is... like everything, I am no expert in anything, but I'll give everything a go. So, you know, I don't know how that's supposed to work properly. One of these days I'll look that up. But I'm just doing the bit of creaminess in the background, and then I thought, no, I want more colour. And this colour, even though it's really strong on the palette there, oh my gosh, gorgeous. So it was beautifully translucent once the matte medium was added to it. It was more matte, like it doesn't have much shine at all once I dry it. And look, it's like almost a coffee stain around it, but better, like more durable or something. Anyway, I just really loved that. It just made it pop all off the background, but I didn't have to lose the map. So I was really, really, really happy with that. And yeah, I'll be playing about more with my mediums. I've got texture mediums and crackles and all sorts of things. So yeah, definitely going to have to start playing with them. That's the beauty of Junk Journal July. You kind of, I don't know, you'll pull out something or you'll look at your supplies because you're doing it every day. So obviously I need to be creating more frequently so that I am pulling out my mediums. But there you are. There it is, all finished, all nice and close up so you can see it. I hope you got as much joy out of it as what I did. And yeah, go and sew some leaves down. Tell me if you do. Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.